Hey guys, King Recap here. Today I will explain to you a 2010 American science fiction and thriller movie named The Crazies. The film starts in the fictional town of Ogden Marsh where everyone lives peacefully and everything appears fine. A girl named Becca asks her employer, Dr. Judy Dutton, to go residence early to watch a baseball game, which is the biggest game in the town. The game starts and everybody has gathered in the baseball court, including Sheriff David and Deputy Russell. The game is surprisingly entertaining until an old man, Rory, randomly enters the center field with a shotgun. David spots this and instantly runs towards him to calm him down. The sheriff suspects that Rory is drunk, but he unexpectedly lifts his shotgun and aims at David. He then takes him down in front of the spectators. That darkness, David brings the corpse to a pathologist called Jim for autopsy. He then strategies Rory's wife, Peggy, and his son to clarify what was happening. However, Peggy claims that it is impossible that her husband was drunk because he quit drinking 2 years ago. She smashes David in the face before she walks away. Since the incident, David keeps feeling guilty and his wife, Judy, who is pregnant, calms him by saying he did the right thing. The following day, David goes to the office and receives a call from Jim, who states that there was no alcohol inside Rory's bloodstream. The sheriff insists that he was drunk and hangs up. David is still curious and revisits the baseball court to do a remote investigation. He meets Ben, who acts weird and tries to talk to him. However, Ben talks nonsense and unexpectedly leaves the place. On the other side, Judy examines a patient, Bill, who is also acting strange. She tells Bill's wife that Bill is helpful. That evening, Bill's wife and son, Nicholas, are confused because they hear the track. She thinks Bill is still working and attempts to approach him, but finds no one. Unexpectedly, Nicholas screams and she instantly rushes back to the house. Nick finds his mom and they hide inside a closet. Unfortunately, Bill knows this and deliberately locks the door. After that, he pours gasoline all over the house and ultimately burns his own house. A few hours later, David and Judy arrive at the crime scene and learn that Bill is the only survivor. Judy questions Bill, but he gives no reaction and doesn't seem remorseful at all. The next day, a group of hunters accidentally discover a corpse in the swamp. David, Russell, and Jim head over to the swamp and identify the corpse. Russell remembers that a week ago he obtained a report about something crashing around the swamp. The two then explore the river and find a tremendous plane sinks beneath them. Russell and David go to the town planner's office and ask Kevin about drinking water flow in the town to determine whether it is infected or not. They figure out that Rory's house is the first building to get the treated water. David immediately approaches the mayor, requesting to shut off the entire town's water supply. However, the mayor instantly rejects the request as it is just based on a hunch and the town is filled with farmers. Shutting down the water will kill the entire crops. The sheriff insists and shuts down the town's water allowance on his own. Afterwards, they return to the office only to find that Bill has turned into a zombie. David tries to make a call, but all communication services are lost. He walks out, but somehow everyone is gone. Someone silently observes David from a distance. When he finds out, the man retreats with his car. The sheriff hears strange noises from the funeral house. He gets inside and Jim unexpectedly attacks him. The pathologist attempts to kill David, but he manages to fight back and eliminate the zombie. That night, David orders Judy to stay with her parents, but they unexpectedly spot someone in their storehouse. He checks the storehouse, but suddenly gets met face to face by a group of armed soldiers who ultimately comes to rescue them. They are brought to the quarantine facility where a temperature check is mandatory before they can enter the facility. It's Judy's turn and the device suddenly beeps, so the soldiers take her away, separating her with her husband. She is taken to an isolated room. Meanwhile, David and uninfected citizens are transferred outside the town and are given a bracelet. David meets Kevin, whose wife is brought away too. He tells him that he plans to get back to rescue Judy. Nonetheless, Kevin reveals that the whole town has been sealed off and everyone who attempts to break in was shocked dead. Not long after, a red vehicle approaches the group and the soldiers instantly shoot down the entire passengers. The situation becomes chaotic as everyone is running in fear. In the occurring chaos, David organizes to steal a helicopter and flies back to the town. He rides at the office and takes his gun. Suddenly, Russell, who also managed to escape, confronts him and reveals that Judy is still safe. Back to Judy, an infected man or a zombie enters the isolation room and starts slaughtering everyone. Just before he impales Judy, David and Russell come to the rescue. They discharge her and also take Judy's assistant, Becca, with them. They walk towards the center of the town and discover that everything has been burned down. Russell checks the nearby cars and ultimately finds a pickup that is not booted. Just before he enters the vehicle, unexpectedly a gunshot is heard and they run away, hiding behind another car. Turns out that there are some weirdo people who are shooting innocent people ruthlessly. Since they left with the car, the survivors have to walk several miles to David's place where he keeps an old cruiser. They stop by at Becca's boyfriend's place, Scotty, for eternity and find out that he is still helpful. All of a sudden, David hears something and orders everyone to hide in the barn. Turns out that it is the sound of the soldiers patrolling. The soldiers break into Scotty's house and take his mother away. Glimpsing this, Scotty comes out from the hideout and runs towards them. Unfortunately, they shoot him to death and instantly burn the body. A soldier endeavors to check in the barn but gets captured by David and Russell. They interrogate him and the soldier reveals that his unit was sent to the town without knowing the order and the circumstance. After promising them that he won't speak up, David releases the soldier and he informs his fellow that the barn is clear. The following day, they continue their journey and ultimately arrive at David's place. Lucky for them, the car is still present. Judy goes to a room that was previously prepared for their baby. Nonetheless, the zombie is standing behind her without her knowing that. David goes upstairs to find Judy, but he is suffocated from behind by the two psychopath zombies who turn out to be Rory's wife and son seeking revenge. Just before Peggy shoots Judy, the sheriff distracts her and uses the chance to launch a counterattack. He manages to take down the wife and Russell eliminates the son from downstairs. As they leave the house, Russell starts showing unusual behavior but David refuses to leave him alone. On their way, they are spotted by a passing helicopter and David shortly drives the car into a car wash. All of a sudden, the car washing machine turns on. They attempt to escape, but the car cannot move as he can't get any traction. Several zombies approach the car and begin attacking everyone. After a rough fight, they manage to defeat the zombies and the car ultimately moves. Unfortunately, the zombie appears and ties a pipe round Becca's neck causing her to be grabbed out from the car. They shoot the zombie and try to help her, but it's too late. To make things worse, their car is destroyed by the helicopter. The trio continue escaping the town on foot until they discover a car. Russell spots a car emerging and spurts spike strips to stop the vehicle. They interrogate the man inside the car. He reveals that the crashed plane was carrying a biological weapon named Trixie, which was initially designed to destabilize a population. They proceed questioning the man and find out the virus incubation period is 48 hours, but Russell shoots him in the head. He gets into the car and discovers a gun. He uses it to threaten the couple and orders them to walk in front of him. After a long walk, David turns around and attempts to talk to his deputy. Russell lowers his gun and David punches him in the face while grabbing the gun. At this level, Russell understands that he is infected, but he begs to keep walking with him. They ultimately arrive at the border of the town which is fully guarded by the soldiers. The deputy sacrifices his life to distract the soldiers so that the couple can pass through the border undetected. David and Judy arrive at a truck stop where they discover that all vacated people have been slaughtered. Judy believes the soldiers will kill them too, but David still wants to give his best effort to save his wife and baby. While the sheriff is taking essential stuff from the store, he spots a radio and learns that the military are going to blow up the entire town in 10 minutes. The electricity in the store is shut down. Judy grabs a knife and is confronted by a zombie. She runs into a room and hides there until the zombie goes away. David ultimately finds her and they get into a truck. Unfortunately, the truck won't start, so David gets out and searches the driver's body to discover the right key. As soon as he reaches the key, a zombie shows up and David is pulled by another zombie. While David fights the zombie under the truck, Judy organizes to take down the other ones. Soon after, the sheriff burns down the zombie and retrieves the key. The couple drive away while the countdowns begin. Just after they manage to escape the town, a big eruption occurs from behind and disables the truck. They survive and continue their journey. As they head toward another city, Cedar Rapids, by foot, they are spotted by a satellite. The satellite also shows that they are going to initiate the containment protocol at Cedar Rapids, demonstrating that David and Judy's survival journey is still not over. The end. Please press the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash the notification button.